Welcome to another episode of Acts of the Blood God, an independent RPG podcast. I'm your host, Kat Bailey. Joining me, as always, my lovely co-host, Eric Van Allen.
Hi, I'm back. I was gone. What reason did I have for being gone? Did y'all come up with like a cute, fun reason for me being gone, or was I just also out for
Eric and
spells?
Nadia are actually the same person. They've just been body swapping this entire time.
Yeah. I was out for pull tabs. I learned what pull tabs are.
Ooh.
That was a magical moment for me. I didn't
Nadia
know.
is out for cigarettes, Canadian cigarettes.
Canadian cigarettes. They're very different.
Well, we needed someone to fill the Canadian chair on this podcast, so that is the one and only Victor Hunter, straight from the editing bay.
Good morning, Kat. Good morning, Eric. As you can see, you have got no nonsense Victor here today. I'm very excited about what the future holds for Acts of the Blood God as a corporation, as an entity. I can't wait to synergize effective solutions for us as a brand.
And this week, we are introducing a brand new evergreen series. It's our perfect RPG libraries. Each host is going to make a library of RPGs that they would just want on a shelf. And we have a list of genres in which those games can fit into, but then plus 3 wild cards. And I'm going first to share my list since I started this podcast, and I get to go. I get to go first.
It's only fair that we
It's-
celebrate Kat Bailey.
Exactly.
Yeah. What is this but a celebration of me, Cat? But before we get to all of that, if you enjoy the show, please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/bloodgodpod, where for just $5 a month, you get the show ad-free. You get access to the Discord. You get access to Charlene Dropouts and much more content as well. You can see Nadia's newsletter coming straight into your inbox. And yeah, there's just a ton of great stuff, and you get to support the show. We have a Pantheon vote coming up very soon this week, and we are very soon going to be wrapping up our current game club for Mother 3. Please look forward to that. Listen to our most recent side quest for Magic the Gathering. You can buy merch at shop.bloodgodpod.com. And every single week, we shout out a Star of Destiny. And this week, we are shouting out Satellite of Love. Satellite of Love, thank you so much for your support. Normally, this would be the part of the episode where we get to the actual topic. But first, we have a big announcement. As those who have been following me on social media and on Patreon would know, we are going to be undergoing some changes. And that change is that I am stepping down as the full-time host of Acts of the Blood God because I am moving to the UK to take on a new job. I'm not ready to quite talk about what that new job is going to entail. It's still in games. So I'm not going to be able to host the episodes full-time anymore. But I'll still be around. And I posted a little FAQ. So I'll just read some of the FAQ. Question 1. So this is it? We'll never see you again? No. I plan to still appear in Pantheon and side quests when I can. And I'm also eager to share my annual top 10 list. And I'm going to be in the Discord. And I hope and plan to be at the annual charity stream. So I'll be around, and I'm helping to continue to drive the direction of the pod. Who's the new host, you might ask? Well, Victor, that's you. Well, one of you. We're multiple hosts, many hosts.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah. We when we were talking about this, we went through a couple different options of what it would look like, and it's funny that your life change coincided with a lot of our life changes. So I myself am moving for a new job, and I'm going to be traveling a lot more often because of it. Vic obviously has weekend stuff as well, and everything
I just got married.
Yeah,
that
you
was,
did just
that
get
was
married.
fun.
Well, that's in
That's
the
a life
past now.
change.
That's not
Something
going to
like-
affect the future. That was past Vic. you're just
Yes. No, that's a different guy.
yeah.
This is serious. This is Victor.
New Victor in the
Yeah.
cyberpunk Keanu Reeves sunglasses.
That's
Wake up, samurai! You're the new host. So the more we talked about it, there were a bunch of different ideas of one person takes lead and other people, kind of support, or we bring in somebody new. And I think the thing that made the most sense, the more we talked about it and the more we discussed ideas, was just why change what's worked, right? And so, yeah, it's a little bit of a hydra around here between myself, Nadia, Victor, and Poe, who's making himself known. Where we're kind of be trading off. We'll be bouncing between each other. One episode might be led by me and we'll be focused on a specific topic, and then Nadia might take over for an episode, and then Victor might lead an episode. And if you want a taste of what that looks like, I think the recent Sound Novels episode is a good example. That was a Victor-led episode, and I think a very good test balloon for how this model works moving forward. So that's kind of the plan. And if you like that, then there's only going to be more of that. So happy birthday, congratulations.
Yeah. I believe in the VTuber world, they call it graduating.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Kat, you're graduating from Acts of the Blood God.
Yay! But seriously, I'm not going away forever. I won't be on the show on a weekly basis anymore is the main thing. But as we saw, Victor has come up with some really cool ideas for the actual episodes. And I love that we're getting a fresh perspective on the show. And I think that shows need to keep reinventing themselves as they go in order to not be, stale. And I think Axe of the Blood God has reinvented itself a few times. And that's why we're still around and still stable and successful and growing. And this is another opportunity at reinvention. So I guess the main thing we're asking is don't go away. Keep supporting the show. We're not going away. We're going to keep doing this. And the thing that I'm really excited about is that me going into the games industry doesn't mean the end of the Axe of the Blood God. That I've managed to build, a collective we have managed to build something that can endure even as I leave. So that's all.
If you stop supporting Axe the Blood God, look at the stream right now. Look at Poe. This is who you stop supporting if you stop supporting Axe the Blood God. I will stop giving Poe treats if you don't support Axe the Blood God.
Oh my God.
Because I won't be able to afford them. You make sure Poe gets treats.
Well, literally, also, you all saved my cat's life last month.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
keep supporting the show to save all of these cats, human and otherwise.
And the last thing is that when is my last episode as a host? Not this week, next week. And we're going to hang out. We're going to do a mailbag. We're going to do a little send-off. We're going to do a formal handover. The gang will all be here.
There will be a
and we're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
Little ceremony. Yeah. So I'll hand the key to the Blood God over to the rest of the hosts. And or what is the amulet that summons the Blood God that gives you the host powers? We'll split it into 3.
Yeah. It's got to be like a PS1 disc of some kind. It's a disc of Monster Seed. It's a PS1 disc of Monster Seed.
Monster Seed. So what you don't understand is that I don't actually host this show. The Blood God allows me to host this show.
Yes.
And so with the Blood God's permission, Victor and Nadia and Eric can now take on hosting duties going forward.
The Monster Seed will be split 3 ways, as was foretold. Don't take that clip out of context.
I willingly become a conduit for this Monster Seed. Willingly.
to-
Hear that, blue sky? I consent.
If you listen to like the first 2 years worth of episodes, there's that really distorted the ox of the blood god, which is just me with like a sound modifier. That was just the blood god giving power, and now they're gonna do it again. Okay. But if you have any additional questions, just come onto the Discord, and we'll be there to answer them. But yeah, rest assured, the show must go on, and this isn't the last time you're gonna see me. Okay, Cat's perfect RPG library. That's me. So I am just gonna basically be going through these categories, and I'm gonna be listing the RPGs that I would put in those categories, and I'm imagining a shelf, maybe on a desert island, maybe in the UK somewhere. It's raining. I have some plants. I'm looking fondly at this shelf. I'm thinking, gosh, I really want to play an RPG. What do I pull? What do I, Cat, pull off this shelf? And I think it's worth noting that this isn't a list of the best RPGs, because I mean we've done that a couple times, and we know what the best RPGs are on here.
We know it. It's decided. It's done.
It's done. Several of the best RPGs, acknowledged best RPGs that we've talked about ad nauseum, not on this list.
God, I can't wait to redo some of these lists and just make them for the sickos.
Oh yeah. It's gonna get wild. The next Pantheon Thunderdome's gonna go crazy.
Good news. I get input too. Still get input.
Yeah, but there's now one more person. We're diluting the electorate.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when was the last time we did one of those lists? It was like 2-3 years ago, 2023. So give it another 3 years, and then we can redo it. Fallout New Vegas continues to rule supreme.
First, before we even start the list, I would like you to tell us what these categories are.
Yeah, the categories with a K. The categories.
Yes.
The categories. So I made 8 categories. Category 1, the OG, CRPGs. And that would be defined as isometric, party-based, point and click. You're making a lot of like gritty choices. Think of Pillars of Eternity. Think of Dragon Age Origins. Think of Ultima. Those are CRPGs in the most classical sense.
Sure.
There's menu-based RPG. So specifically, you're choosing from an action, and your characters go and attack. They're party-based for the most part. Most people would call them JRPGs, but many different countries make these kinds of games, and they usually have kind of a straightforward linear narrative. But menu-based RPG, action RPG, and this is a really big tent. It's kind of defined as any game with RPG elements and action. And that can include everything from Ys to The Witcher to Dark Souls. Okay. And that was a hard one. Tactics RPGs. So I think that's self-evident. Triangle strategies, Final Fantasy Tactics, etc.
Can I just say that someone at home listening heard you say triangle strategy before Final Fantasy Tactics and was just like, yes!
Fist pump. You know, your SMT Devil Survivors.
Recognition for triangle strategy.
Or we call this the blunderbuss category.
Yes.
Dungeon crawlers. So that would be referring to another OG category. That would be games like Wizardry. So they're first person. They're in a dungeon. Maybe you're just going on little grids.
Do they have to be?
Legend of
They don't have to be first person, right?
Grimrock is one of them.
No, they don't need to be first person.
That
would be
because dungeon encounters would be a dungeon crawler. and that's not first person.
True.
I,
Well, I
I
would
would.
define it anything where like you're in a town and then you're going into a dungeon and exploring further and further down into the dungeon.
If you have
And
to get
Technically,
out,
roguelikes can fall into that category,
Yeah,
but
if you have to get out like grid paper and make a map, then you're on the right path to dungeon crawler.
like Diablo.
Yeah, I put
Diablo's
it
an
under
action
there.
RPG. Yeah, no, it would fall into dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
It can. I mean,
Fantasy Star Online.
games can sit in two categories too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantasy Star Online's kind of crazy. That's an MMO. It says online in the game.
No. Yeah, and all it has is a hub town, and then you go deeper and deeper and deeper into one dungeon.
Fantasy Star Online. It says it right in the name.
It's also not massive. It is. It is.
Well,
Small little
that's
lobby.
Fantasy Star's problem, not ours.
All right.
MMORPG is a category. So y'all can pick Final Fantasy 14. It's cool.
What?
Sim.
No.
What if we didn't though?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that'd
That's
be cool.
assuming a lot.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls Online. Let's go. Eric's favorite series.
Oh God, I can't wait.
Not to denigrate ESO. I mean, it's a pretty cool game, I guess.
To return to the memorable vistas of Skyrim, like the cave with Droger.
Dark Ages of Camelot.
Ooh, that is a good one. Dark Ages Camelot is
Yeah.
good. I was gonna say Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. Those are pretty good ones.
Yeah.
I was talking about WildStar the other day. I was like, remember WildStar? That was a crazy game.
Yeah.
I have memories of going to preview DC Universe Online in Austin, Texas
Wow.
in like 2012.
She didn't even say hi to me.
No. I didn't even say hello to Eric, who... Were you still in college in 2012?
Yeah, I would have still been in
Were you
college, so I
just
would
out?
not have been in Austin, Texas.
I saw some bats. That's like my main recollection of it.
Yes. Oh, the bats
Yeah.
rule.
Saw the bats.
We love the bats.
Spoiler alert, I don't have an MMO on my list. I purposefully made 8 categories so I would not have to have an MMO. Sorry, MMO. It would be disingenuous of me to put an MMORPG on this list because I strongly dislike MMORPGs with one exception.
Okay, so when we get to our lists, we get to pick genres that we just don't care for and put something else in.
I actually do like this concept that you
Okay.
get to just
All
like execute a genre and
You
say
can
like,
cut out one genre. If you don't like tactics RPGs,
I like-
or
I like all
CRPG, if you
genres
can't be
equally.
like, if I can't be like, oh, if you can't be like, I don't like CRPGs, I'm not putting this in there. You can cut out the CRPG and put something else.
Great.
Like MMORPG? I don't know. Yeah. So
Lovely.
that's the rule. There you go.
Oh, well, also, hey, never mind.
as Vic is getting heated up, he's also getting brighter.
He's powering up.
That's why I've got the shades on, because I knew I'd be radiating fury.
I don't know what was powering him up, but okay.
Purely the sun. Purely the sun. I just
Like Superman.
What
Look.
were you getting? What were you getting activated about? What were you getting energized about?
these categories were put together with no input from us.
Crucially, Kat made the categories and then complained about the categories, which
Yeah.
is hilarious.
and now you are leaving the show and leaving us with this legacy of a list we didn't decide on.
So
okay.
to iterate, to lay out the timeline, Kat invents the concept, Kat makes the categories, Kat says the categories are bad, and then leaves.
Cat died on the way to her home planet. Okay, well, Victor, what category would you have on here?
This is not something to discuss on the show. This is something that would take me time to determine. I think if at the very least we can say there's some wiggle room for what the categories entail for each host and what their
Okay.
what their niches are in the broader RPG umbrella.
Well,
I think that's fair to say.
It's the most
that's why
Blood
we have
God
3 wild
thing.
cards.
It's the most Blood God thing to determine the format of the show as we're recording the show.
So here's the thing. We have 8 categories. Pick 7. And then maybe you can add more categories after I'm gone if you want. But you got to pick 7, and
Pick
then you get
7's
3
good.
wild cards.
It's a reference to my favorite RPG of all time, Crisis Core. Pick 7.
Yeah. So if Victor wants to make, I don't know, visual novels an official category, cool.
I might throw in adventure games, but maybe not visual novels.
I'd say strategy RPGs should have a separate category entirely from tactics RPGs.
It's like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I think there's enough of a distinction
So like,
there.
You'll tell me Diofield Chronicles is the same game as Triangle Strategy? No, that's base level understanding. We got to go deeper.
Yeah.
oh, what have I wrought?
We'll talk about the video game Endless Legend 1, a 4X RPG game. Oh, Age of
Pick
Wonders
7
goes
categories.
crazy.
I should have known that my sound novel episode, an episode entirely about genre semantics, would really hit with our crowd. Because
This is the secret. This is what they want at the end of the day. You're listening
love
to this.
this.
There's absolutely at least 50% of you like smiling and nodding, like yes.
You little freaks.
Well, anyway, we're out of time. This is the category.
Where would you put Unicorn Overlord? It's in the unicorn genre. Yeah.
It's definitely a tactics RPG.
No.
We got strategy elements.
Hey, where's 13 Sentinels going?
Oh, 13 Sentinels is going in the tower defense / visual novel genre. Excuse me, adventure game. Visual.
Thank you.
Well, it has visual novel elements too, so it kind of combines the two. But yes,
Yeah.
There's some things. Like in Magic the Gathering. Okay.
Yo, Magic the Gathering. That's
No.
cardboard RPG.
All right. Where do you all want me to start? Like, how do you want me to do this?
Where do you want to start? You're the one driving the bus right now.
Yeah.
Driving the bus.
You get to name things, and then Vic and I get to interrogate you. That's why Victor's
We're-
wearing the aviators, is because this is actually good cop, bad cop.
You're driving the bus. We're just here to kick the back of your chair.
Exactly.
Well, as we were just talking about tactics RPGs / strategy RPGs, which I'm putting in one category, try and stop me. My first pick is Fire Emblem. Just Fire Emblem.
Oh,
Specifically for the GBA.
the Blaze
the one that came out.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
with Ella.
I had to think about this one because it was okay. There's a lot of choices in this category that I really like. Unicorn Overlord is actually kind of a dark horse pick for this one. I thought, Eric, I know you're gonna hate me for this. I thought seriously about Fire Emblem Engage.
That's great. I
As a
wouldn't
choice.
hate you for it. I just, it's like watching your friends put ketchup on something that shouldn't have ketchup on it. It's being like, you could eat better. Like, you could enjoy the flavor of
Why
the
you gotta be a
food.
hater? There's so much to love about that game.
So
But-
for my brain, so this is Fire Emblem. This is now known as the Blazing Blade,
Fire
semi-official.
Emblem,
Well,
the
it was
Blazing Blade.
it was
yes.
always known as the Blazing Blade. It just got turned into just Fire Emblem when they brought it over to the West, because I think that was the first Fire Emblem that came over to the West, and it was
yeah.
was it it was post Melee, right? Because Melee
Yes.
had Marth and Roy, but did not have a Fire Emblem out in the West. Yeah, so that was Nintendo being like, well, I guess we can try and figure this out. And so yeah, Fire Emblem came over, and then
So
Fire Emblem Sacred
for-
Stones was the first one with the subtitle.
Yeah, which honestly,
That's
Sacred
a
Stones on here.
banger. Yeah.
So for the weirdos in the Fire Emblem community who insist on giving every title a number, which one is this?
Believe
Seven.
Seven.
This is
yeah.
seven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't know why you all do
think-
that. It's weird. Weird behavior.
Yeah, it's Fire Emblem 7, right?
There's a thing about wanting to have numbers, especially if a game is unnumbered but considered part of a sequential thing. But then I don't know why you do it for games that aren't. So a weird comparison is Mass Effect, where people always wanted to call it Mass Effect 4, which is not even Mass Effect 4. It's technically Mass Effect 5. But yeah, Andromeda kind of messed with all that. But with Fire Emblem, it's not like a sequential series of games, so there's not really a reason to do numbers. But it does. It's like how people do 7th gen, 8th gen consoles. Like it effectively means
Absurd.
nothing, but it helps to like
Just
categorize
deranged.
for some people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not. I was. How should I decide? I felt overwhelmed and anxious about playing tactics RPGs before playing Fire Emblem. So, actually, before Advance Wars, but Fire Emblem really cemented it. I played Advance Wars and I'm like, this game's amazing. I love it. And then I played Fire Emblem and I was like, this game's even better. I love it so much. And it's frustrating and annoying to play at times because, well, if you don't lean into the permadeath aspect of the game, you are going to be soft resetting a lot in that game. And it's like, well, time to restart this fairly long level. Though once you get to a point where your character's been built up quite a bit, you can basically park them in a choke point and watch them just annihilate enemies as they come at them. It's very satisfying, actually. The graphics in those games are really fantastic. And out of all of the Fire Emblems that I've played, and I've played a lot of them, I think this is the one that I would just play on an evergreen basis. And I think that's kind of what I'm thinking of with this list. Not necessarily the best, but a game that is close to my heart that I could see just picking up and playing kind of anytime, any place. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was replaying this one recently actually on my on one of my mini little devices here. And I think the thing that struck me about it was that like it's a really good story. It's not, I don't know that's my favorite Fire Emblem story, but it's a really solid one that moves from mission to mission and has really good characters. You start out meeting Lynn, who's probably one of the better Fire Emblem protagonists out there. You still play as the weird nameless strategist or something. I forget how they framed it in that game, but you're kind of just this other unit that shows up occasionally but doesn't actually fight. But there's a really interesting just pace to everything, and you get units at really interesting moments. I think the way they kind of stagger the units out ended up making it a very approachable Fire Emblem in ways that later games kind of struggled with because they'd either overwhelm you with too many units all at the same time. So in this map, we're going to introduce magic and archers and axes all at the same time. It's like, okay, that's a lot. But in Fire Emblem 7 / Blazing Blade, whatever, Fire Emblem, they're very good about gradually introducing concepts, teaching them to you, and then having really interesting maps that really forced you to think how those mechanics could kind of play off each other. There's a very early castle map where you're learning about how doors and thieves and stuff work, and you get some really cool just little choke points and areas where you can manipulate the aggro and the enemies to create really cool spots. And I also think it's the better part of Fire Emblem's more compact design. You know, I love modern Fire Emblem as well. You know I give Engage a lot of shit, but it's not a bad game. It's just one that I didn't gel with. But Three Houses I loved. Fortune's Weave looks great. But as these games get larger, I think keeping some of that map design consistent struggles. And I really think the GBA Fire Emblems have incredibly compact but well thought out map design that just feel really good to kind of strategize around and get really good just 5-minute hits of strategy. Perfect for the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was gonna ask Kat, like, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite in Fire Emblem 7? Who you rocking
Lynn.
with? Lynn? Uh-huh.
Lynn. Yeah.
With
I
that
love
sick
Lynn.
crit animation with the katana.
I played a lot of Fire Emblem Heroes, and Lynn was a constant in that game. She was just cool. And once she evolves into a lord, because they evolve. What? Lynn is evolving.
Yeah.
The animations are sick. They're so good.
I do miss like you were kind of saying, Eric, I miss the more reined in like limitations, I guess, of this era of Fire Emblem. I like when the units have a few class change options and not everyone can always be everything all the time. Because you're
Yeah.
right, it makes for tighter combat and I don't know. It's just their maps become a little more puzzle like, but not on the side of like Advance Wars, where it's just a puzzle for you to figure out what unit am I supposed to send in here. This era of Fire Emblem has like the perfect amount of flexibility for me. Um,
The weird
but
part for
also I'm
me. Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the weird part for me is that the more they introduce like wider classes and classes that can kind of equip everything and do everything, is that the
Mm-hmm.
weapon triangle and the weaknesses and things like that start to mean less and less. And
Mm-hmm.
not only does that mean that, okay, so it used to be that having an axe user was really important, but like almost all of the melee fighter classes can use axes, so like you don't have to worry too much about the weapon triangle because you can just always have it on hand. Or even some modern games that do kind of do away with the weapon triangle, which that's another conversation for another day. But it ends up kind of depreciating individual classes, because all of a sudden flyers now are either very feast or famine, where your flyer can be an unstoppable god, or they just die to everything because they're just outclassed by better units. And I think the GBA Fire Emblems were just so, like, the limitation bred a certain level of creativity, but also just made those games feel a little bit more impactful, where you had moments where you're putting a unit kind of near a Myrmidon and being like, I'm kind of risking this, but I think I got to risk this in order to win this map, in order to complete this section. Whereas I feel like modern Fire Emblems do have too many situations that just make you feel like you have all the options available to you. You're not risking too much. You can play it kind of safe. And I like that GBA Fire Emblems can kind of throw surprises at you, and have crits come out of nowhere and really feel reactive and dramatic the way that a Battlefield should. But also, like, the unit stuff means that you can do really interesting stuff. You can do a solo Lord playthrough where you just run the Lord and that's it. Or you do all Myrmidons, or you do all thieves, or you do all mages, and you have to try and get through it. And there's an actual challenge to it, rather than feeling like you can just kind of multi-class everybody and you're good, and you're really just kind of still playing Fire Emblem.
The thing I liked about it was when aside from the visuals, which were fantastic on the GBA,
Best
I really
pixel art.
liked that when I finished it, I got access to different perspectives. So there was the Elliewood
Yeah.
playthrough,
Uh-huh.
and then there was the Hector playthrough, which
Hector, my
had
boy.
I loved Hector, and I never understood why they didn't put him in why they didn't put him in Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
I guess they needed to have more sword boys in those games. Always more sword boys. Gotta get Ike in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved Hector, and it was fun seeing the different scenes. It's like, what's Hector up to right now during this particular moment? The other thing I thought was pretty cool about Fire Emblem, and you don't see in a ton of tactics games, is that in many ways it's not that dissimilar from, say, a game like, I don't know, Suikoden or Dragon Quest, where you're assembling just a very large party and you're battling your way through dungeons or castles. And enemies will come in and steal loot away. And you're like, no, the thief, what are you doing? Get the thief, get the thief. Except maybe you can recruit that thief and get them onto your party. And then you go, okay, how can I get that thief? Oh, no, I killed them. Well, time to restart.
I think that's something I really, really miss from modern Fire Emblem is the
Yes.
unorthodox ways you could recruit people, and maybe recruit people you wouldn't even think you could recruit, or characters that you can only get if someone else has died at a certain point. I think is really compelling, that like there will be people who fill that vacuum if you've just accepted that someone in your army has died, I think is fantastic, and they need to bring that back.
So we do have 9 more games to go. So we should
Good
probably.
news. This is going to be a 10-hour podcast.
Yeah.
This is the real future of Axe of the Blood God. 10-hour podcasts.
Okay. So for Kat Bailey's perfect library, she is selected for Tactical RPG Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance. There we go. That's your
go.
draft voice.
All right. Would you rather me pick my turn-based RPG or my action RPG next?
Turn-based.
Turn-based.
Turn-based?
Yeah.
The people want to know. So something you should know about my library is certain very large and popular and excellent RPGs, not in this library. And turn-based RPG, very crowded category. So, for my turn-based RPG, I have selected Valkyrie Profile for the PlayStation because obviously, and yes, technically you're putting real-time inputs in, but there are menu-based aspects in there, and you're still doing attack phases between the individual enemies and the party. So as far as I'm concerned, this falls into the menu-based, turn-based RPG category.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Also, most of these RPGs we've been talking about have pantheons already, so you can go listen to them. Us talk about them in even more depth if you are a subscriber at the $10 level of Axe of the Blood God. We did a Fire Emblem episode, a Blazing Blade episode. We did a Valkyrie Profile episode. Valkyrie Profile, released in 2000. It's a game that, as you know, I've talked about a lot over the years. It's actually 25 years old this year. Yeah,
Wow.
the American release is 25 years old. It came out, the anniversary would have been in August. Tends to be sort of overlooked. Longtime listeners will know how much this game means to me. It's a beautiful game. I find the format really unique. The characters are all a lot of fun. There's a lot of original Pokemon voice actors in it, including
York
Veronica
casting.
Taylor.
Yeah.
It's a small voice cast, but they play a lot of different roles. But they're all kind of doing their Pokemon voices. So you got Veronica Taylor going, Lapis, I choose you, basically. Sorry, Lapis, grant me power. I'm not good at doing the Ash voice. It's a very distinct voice, but
I like this pick for you because I do think if we're talking about almost a desert island type thing, but something that is replayable. I mean, if you don't have a walkthrough, figuring this game out is a puzzle in and of itself, the way that the different routes can pan out. So I do think it's a very you pick for that.
I bought it's a very cat pick. What does that mean? What's a me? What's a me
give
pick?
Valkyrie profile vibes. You
Do I?
radiate Valkyrie. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Get thee hence. Get thee hence, Eric. Oblivion awaits your takes.
No. I think it's an interesting one too because it is one that most people wouldn't think of, right? It's the way it's almost kind of a pseudo action RPG in its combat and the way that the combos kind of work and bounce off each other, but it is absolutely like I think an underrated gem of this category. It's a very good pick.
Also, I
I'm
find it
just
very
happy to-
replayable, and
Sure.
it's a little bit like you're gonna find this to be a totally wild comparison. It's a bit like Star Fox 64 in that if you play Valkyrie Profile, you can play on normal difficulty or hard difficulty, and you'll get pretty different content depending on whether or not you play hard difficulty.
I did.
And so each path feels pretty different depending on the direction that you end up going. There's a lot of different endings. If you get just the normal ending, I mean, it's not great, but you get in a dungeon you would not get otherwise if you play to the best ending, as it
Yeah,
were. And you get
I
different
dig that.
characters as well. I believe it's kind of randomized who gets recruited in each
Interesting.
chapter.
This is
So,
this is fun because this is revealing that Cat does have tolerance for how do I want to put this? Mm, what's the opposite of quality of life? These are these are
friction.
these yeah
Opposition of
these
life.
yeah these are player antagonistic design
Uh-huh.
choices that
Uh-huh.
I often see you rejecting. So this is nice to see. This is I'm
There's
pleased
cracks
with
in the
this
wall.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I like this a lot. This is compelling. This paints a picture of a more complex cat.
Excuse me. What?
This is no, this is
I
good.
feel
This is
mildly
nice.
insulted. Kat, I thought
No.
you were kind of a basic bee, but now
This
I'm
is
kind of
good.
learning.
This is good has
This is
always been said
good.
by
I'm
somebody who's
learning
saying
that you
something
have
good. Yeah, yeah,
taste.
yeah.
This
No,
is
this is good.
I'm complimenting you.
My God.
I'm also just glad to have a tri-ace game on here. This is fun. I
Yeah.
like
Yes,
that a
yes,
lot.
yes,
I'm
yes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I replayed Valkyrie Profile a few years ago, and I just had a wonderful time with it. I soaked in the vibes. I loved the individual vignettes. They're very heartbreaking. And I like that there's Valkyrie, there's Lena's story, but there's a lot of sub stories that are happening ambiently around her. Like, there's a party of adventurers in this game who are just dying throughout. And imagine your typical JRPG party, but each one is dying horribly in some way up until the very end.
Let me tell you about one of the best side quests in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Adventurers
you
dying.
haven't met Edda Blackbosom.
that's not
No.
her name.
Yeah.
No, hold on. I'm
Hey,
checking that right now.
hey, I'm vetoing Final Fantasy 14 talk during my Valkyrie Profile segment.
No, no, I'm just completely thrown by Edda Black Bosom. That cannot be.
Edda Pureheart and Edda Blackbosom.
Is that their names?
Oh my God, that
That's
really is her name.
those are
That's
her titles.
crazy.
Yeah.
Victor, have you ever played Valkyrie Profile?
I've dabbled, and it's high on the
Dabbled.
priority list.
Hi, Pra.
Because
You like it.
as a tri-ace lover, as a Lightning Returns lover, as the yeah, it's I know I dig it.
Yeah, the thing that kind of bums me out is that the games that follow just never quite lived up to the legacy of Valkyrie Profile. So Valkyrie Profile kind of left a lot of plot hooks dangling, which I thought was cool. And then Sumeria came out on the PlayStation 2, and it was a much more straightforward RPG, much more linear. I didn't like the protagonists quite as much. The battle system improvements were really interesting, but I liked I'm flying around on an overworld map, and I'm hearing the calls of the fallen warriors who are about to die. I have to go collect them. And the weird, almost sim aspect of I need to get the right stuff on them so that they're succeeding in heaven. It's cool. That stuff wasn't in Somaria, unfortunately.
I feel like
Because you're not a Valkyrie.
Trice was doing a lot of cool stuff like this at the time because I still haven't. I
Yeah.
want to go back to it. It's on my backlog of shame, but Star Ocean: The Second Story was around this time too, and has a bunch of really cool. Depending on which protagonist you pick, you get different characters, and there's all kind of recruitment options that you're going to see only so much of the game in one playthrough, and the intent is that you can go back to it and have a different story, even if you're experiencing the same broad story. Things are going to be different. Maybe an ending is different. Maybe different characters are present with you. And I think that's a really cool way for RPGs to find replayability that doesn't feel arbitrary, that doesn't just feel like, oh, we replay it it's mostly the same game, but you get a better ending at the end once you beat it twice. And I like ones that change it up like this. It's a good pick.
We need more of that. The most cowardly thing Square Enix has ever done is not making Yuffie and Vincent optional in Rebirth.
That'd be crazy if they did that.
Right? Imagine
would be
imagine
cool.
the,
I mean, technically-
the fury, the just absolute rage you would experience.
I mean, we're living in an era where Yuffie and Vincent would be DLC.
Sure.
And in point of fact, Yuffie was DLC in Intergrade.
Yeah.
The best
You
Vincent
had to
content was optional in Rebirth, though. So, did you just fall
True.
off the desk? God, you're a dumb cat.
Ho has thoughts.
He tried to stand
I
up
wanna
and almost
do-
fell off.
I do want to do a little spoiler alert. So obviously, turn-based RPG encompasses a lot of things. Here are a couple of franchises that are not on this list. Persona, not on this list. I've played and really enjoyed all three of the latter day Persona games. Persona 1 and 2.
The Church of
Oh,
Latter-day
I don't know
Personas.
it well.
Persona games. You almost
The
gave
latter
me a
day.
heart attack.
The latter day
The
Persona
Church
games.
of Latter-day Personas is really funny, though.
So strange how Persona started at the third one.
It's why did they do that? And also, like, they used to put Shin Megami Tensei on there. I don't even know what that means. That's crazy. Isn't it just Persona?
In my heart, Persona 4 is probably my favorite still, but it has things that I'm not in love with. I want to play the remake. Maybe it'll be better. Also, Dragon Quest not on this list. I like Dragon Quest a lot, but none of them sit in my heart. So, strongly recommend Persona 3 Reload, Dragon Quest 5, Chrono Trigger, amazing experiences, but maybe not on my list. Maybe not on my shelf.
Wow.
I'm like literally looking at my shelf right now, and there is a Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest 5 is actually literally on there. But
Are you trying to do this so that way it's like at the end of Harry and the Hendersons when he's like, leave, go, and you're like, I never liked Chrono Trigger, and you run away.
Get out of here, you dumb dog!
Dragon Quest is not good enough for my shelf.
Hey. Okay. I'll do my action RPG next.
Ingmar Bergman's film Persona 3?
It insists upon itself.
Oh man,
Let's just get all the cat memes in here.
good.
Look, I heal to the last. I need to hand off my the baton to Eric, who's I guess the designated heal now.
No, I'm like a goblin. I'm like an imp. You know, I'm like the troll under the bridge. I'm just causing problems for no real discernible purpose or reason.
Okay, on to my action RPG pick.
Okay.
It's The Witcher 3,
Sure.
a game that I played over a period of years and just came to really, really love a lot. It gave me a huge appreciation for CD Projekt. I wish I had dated Yennefer. Maybe if I ever replay it, I will date Yennefer. I think that its open world design is fantastic. Its quest design is really the way that it incorporates quest design and storytelling is a real example to the entire RPG genre.
I missed the category. Sorry, was this
the-
action RPG or CRPG? Is
Action RPGs.
Okay.
Excuse me, a CRPG is a very distinct category.
No, Witcher 3 could be a CRPG. I can argue that.
It's a WRPG. It's a little different.
What's a WRPG? A Witcher
Like
RPG?
Skyrim. You wouldn't call Skyrim a CRPG.
Yeah, I could.
Tell me again that Sakura Wars is a dating sim. Do it. I dare you.
Say Sakura
It's,
Wars is a dating sim.
No, Victor. It's a visual novel.
Oy, oy, oy.
That hurt more. That one cut deeper.
No, I put this under the RPG category. And actually, when I looked it up on Wikipedia, the sole authority of real information at this point, because everything else is misinformation, it lists as an action RPG. So I'm just going with that.
Started in chat said a WRPG is the opposite of an LRPG, and that's really funny. Good job. +2s.
I think The Witcher 3 was a really significant RPG, and in some ways, these are all games that I would just strongly recommend anybody play. And Witcher 3 is definitely up there. So if you play an RPG, if somebody said to me, Kat, can you recommend me an RPG? I'd say, have you tried Witcher 3? It's good. You're gonna have a good time probably, unless your name's Victor. I don't know. Do you like The Witcher 3?
I might like it. I don't know.
A friend of the show.
I'm not sure. Is it your kind of game?
So
My wife loves it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my wife. So by the transitive property, yeah, this game's great.
It took me a long time to warm up to Geralt as a protagonist. But once I did that, I was into it. I wasn't that into playing as medieval Batman. I'm much more excited to be playing as Ciri.
medieval Batman? He's not medieval
That's what
Batman.
That's what Mike Williams called him.
No.
He even has detective vision.
Yeah, but that's like it. He's not a billionaire. He doesn't have like
Instead of
daddy
having
issues. Like
instead of having utility belt, he has spells and poisons.
no, he's
And-
like a monk. He's like I feel like he's somewhere
Okay.
between a monk and a Ronin. Like that's supposed to be the vibes I
Interesting.
get from him, anyways. And yeah,
Yeah.
he's also
Okay.
like kind of a murder hobo because he just like lives on the road.
I guess he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like the like Batman. Look, I'm gonna talk some shit about Batman because he's not real and he can't hurt me. Batman goes out there, fights on the streets of Gotham, and then goes home and sleeps in his comfy big bed with his butler who brings him poached eggs every morning. Batman
Eric,
is
he's
the
right
1%
behind you.
Yeah. This is how I become the Riddler, actually. This is the start of my origin story. Yeah, no.
I like that you picked the Riddler and not the Jokers.
I feel like if I had to pick a Batman villain whose vibe I vibe with, I'm definitely more of a Riddler guy than a Joker guy. I think that's where I would fall on the Batman villain spectrum. And then Victor is
For me,
obviously
it's Poison Ivy.
yeah. Cat's
Yeah.
Poison Ivy with a little bit of Harley.
I like plants.
There's a little bit of Harley there.
You think so? That's like
Yeah,
one of the
but-
nicest things anybody's ever said to me.
Like modern Harley. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Victor's obviously Mr. Freeze, as he has proven
Obviously.
with wife guy
Obviously.
status.
Yeah. 100%.
Proven wife guy, Victor Hunter.
Hell yeah. I'll take it. Gladly.
In 2022, I came home from a trip to the Netherlands and I was extremely ill. And I think if you go back to those episodes and listen to our end of the year lists, you can hear me basically fading really hard as I'm desperately trying to get through literal hours of podcasting. And we had to cut out a lot of coughing in that one as well. But and I didn't know if I had COVID, so I was basically locked in my office. And so I played Witcher 3 Blood and Wine during that holiday break. And I had been just saving it like a bottle of fine wine until the right moment when I was really sick and couldn't do anything else. And so good. Really, really, really good story. Right. I like the original Witcher story, but the DLCs do it better. Actually, like that's what brings it into legend status, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's just
Alright,
like
Kat.
not an original take, but I'm just gonna reiterate it because it's true. Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine are why you play those games.
Well, the main story is really, really good too, especially if you romance Yennefer, the correct choice. But that's like Hearts of Stone. I do think even more so. Like Blood and Wine is good, but I think Hearts of Stone might be up there if I had to name a favorite DLC of all time, because I think the story of the main character there and dealing with Gaunter O'Dim is such a cool, interesting, contained story. It feels like you're getting a really good novel off the shelf, like a good little like 180 200 page novel, and you're just kind of flipping through it, and it's like a serialized, like follows the character through a thing, and they have a really rounded out story. I really like that aspect of it, and then by the time it ends, it's, oh god, the ending is incredible. It's so good. So yeah, Witcher I can absolutely see. Have you played Assassin of Kings though? Witcher 2? You should give
No.
Witcher 2 a shot, because Witcher 2 also has branching paths which determine which characters are available at certain times. Obviously you play as Geralt the whole time, but it also drastically changes the way the story plays out depending on which options you choose and how it branches from there. And I think Witcher 2 is crazy underrated in the shadow of Witcher 3. So if you like Witcher 3, you might like Witcher 2.
So weird that it also another series that started at the third game. And also got rid of the Shin Megami Tensei subtitle.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Everyone forgets Shin Megami Tensei The Witcher.
Is the actual title of this Cat's Pantheon? I don't know.
Pantheon is like a different exercise, I think, because Pantheon, we're kind of speaking about the genre as a whole. But I think this is one where you need to lean into your bullshit, where you say, because there are times on the Pantheon where I say, like,
It's my brand.
I really like this game, but I don't think it's a Pantheon game. Here, screw that. What's your stuff? What do you care about? If you're making a shelf, what are you putting on that shelf?
These are all Pantheon level games, I have to say. The Witcher 3, it's a really special game to me, I think, and very memorable, and I may play it again someday, but I'm mostly waiting for Witcher 4. Okay. I'm just gonna like kind of swerve. I'm gonna take the wheel and swerve in a different direction.
Like Roach
here's my
does.
dungeon crawler pick.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
Are you ready? Here's my dungeon crawler pick.
I think I know what this is.
I went between a few different options on this one. But if I had to pick one, it would be Etrian Odyssey 5. Why? Again, kind of evergreen. I was thinking about out of all of the dungeon crawlers I've played, that might be the one that I would just readily pick up and start a new run on. I love the art. It kind of is the total collection of all the different Etrian Odyssey games into one package. It's very accessible to new players. And Victor, I can play it on my Nintendo 3DS that I own.
I was gonna say accessible to new players, but Cat, it's locked on the 3DS, something no one has ever seen.
I missed something while I was gone. Apparently you got in like huge beef.
No,
Victor.
Fun. We're having fun.
Victor was out here like, do y'all not own 3DSs like that?
Well, no,
I mean,
he's like, do you not own a DS? And I'm like, well, actually, I don't technically own a DS anymore. I do own a 3DS.
Yeah.
I donated my DS to Goodwill, so because the power button is a little messed up. So someone is going to have their own DS Lite, and I hope it gives them as many hours of enjoyment as it's given me. But you're right. It is locked on a dead system that is becoming increasingly hard to get hold of because it's actually quite popular.
It wasn't part of the EO re-releases that happened recently?
No.
5 was not? Okay.
No, that was 1 and 2.
Okay.
1, 2, and 3, I think.
Was Nexus in there?
1, 2, and 3, yeah.
What is it about 5? What sets 5 apart? Why specifically 5? Is it just the one you have the most experience with, or does it actually have things that you think set it apart from the rest of the series?
1 and 2 are, the OGs, and they're very good. and they have two in particular have some weird difficulty spikes, especially early on. Three, if I recall correctly, is a little themed around the ocean. I don't remember four very well. And then five was the one that it kind of came out and was like, this is a summation. And it was maybe the one that I played the most out of all of them. And it felt like at that point, they just really knew how to make that series sing. They understood how to balance all of the character classes really well. They had the mechanics down to a science, and you could just feel it in the balance and the pacing. Found it very enjoyable. It was the game that I would have my 3DS next to my bedside, and before going to bed, I would just pick it up and do a foray into the labyrinth. FOE, FOE. So and also I think that I think if you want to enjoy RPGs, you should play a good dungeon crawler, because that is one of those essence genres. And Etrian Odyssey is as good as any. The other ones that I considered were Strange Journey, which would be my SMT pick, actually. And we've done a Pantheon about it. I love the vibes, the horror. It's really cool. And it's more linear than Etrian Odyssey, and has a much stronger story element, though the Untold games also have story elements. Or I would have picked Persona Q, because Maze of Life. I mean, come on, what an amazing story! And I just loved having all of the Persona characters come together. As much as while I have misgivings about all of the latter day Persona games,
watch it.
The 3D,
Persona 3, 4, and 5
Persona
specifically.
Are they all 3D? Yeah.
I'll just call them Persona 3, 4, and 5.
Just call them the personas that were heavily influenced by Sakura Wars.
Sure. I do love the casts. Yeah. So
I was surprised that Grimrock wasn't on your short list either, because I know that's one that you enjoy.
Haven't played it.
I thought you had played that and enjoyed it.
No, I just kept trying to get it on the Pantheon so I could play it.
You wanted to play it. Okay. So that's on your shelf as like, I'll play this one day.
I think Wizardry was pretty cool. The remake of Wizardry. Did the Pantheon around that one. Really enjoyed that. So
I'm sad no dungeon encounters, love. Can't believe you've
Sorry,
done this.
haven't played that one. Haven't played that one. There's a lot of RPGs that I've missed, actually.
We're never going to get a Dungeon Encounters 2 at this rate, Cat.
No, we will not.
You're right. I also love the Persona Q games almost more than actual Persona games. And I kind of like them a little bit more than Etrian Odyssey. But what I do miss in those that's in Etrian Odyssey is the party customization and creating your team and finding how they synergize, finding out how they synergize effectively. And for that, I go to Seventh Dragon, which is basically the other Etrian Odyssey made by a lot of the same people that I know some people on the Discord are playing. So shout outs to all the Seventh Dragon sickos out there, because those games are incredible. But yes, they are. Etrian Odyssey. I'm not gonna push back against this pick.
There's something about a dungeon crawler that I feel like it needs to not be a bunch of story characters. You need to just have a collection of people that are all probably doomed and the feeling of building a story around them. More recent stuff like, was it Stranger of Sword City and Underknots and stuff like that, I think get really enjoyable because you kind of build these ideas of who these characters are, and your attachment comes from the time that you've spent with them rather than them being a part of a story or them having certain story beats that you need to hit and stuff like that. The same reason I like XCOM games a lot. I think that it can develop an attachment that you don't always see in other RPGs, and that works super well in this context, especially in dungeon crawlers, which are usually very punishing. usually permadeath, usually like heavy consequences for failure, and the idea that you need to kind of rotate and continue to fix stuff. Actually, with Darkest Dungeon, I think Darkest Dungeon is a dungeon crawler. I think that fits here. Huh.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Interesting. But yeah, it's that
Party-based
vibe.
dungeon crawler.
It's the
I actually
feeling,
thought about putting Darkest Dungeon on there.
it's the feeling of getting really attached to those characters and then, having terrible things happen to them and having to recover and fix and move on.
I adored Darkest Dungeon. The only thing is that I've never finished it because there's a point in the mid game where it just becomes a grind.
Yeah.
And once I beat all of the bosses the first time around, but then I have to keep beating them, it's kind of starts to get to a little bit like, okay, I've had my Darkest Dungeon experience. That was fine. Moving on with my life. I would like. There's a lot of content that's come out for Darkest Dungeon 2 that I've not picked up, including an entire, I think, strategy mode. I'm curious. Haven't really played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next category.
Okay. Next category. So I think we got a lot of categories left, and we're like more than an hour in.
Oh, I trust me. I said next category because I looked at the clock and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. So the categories that are remaining are Sim RPG, CRPG, roguelite, and then 3 wild cards.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
We are literally
you remember how I was
halfway done.
joking about a 10-hour podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just texted
Okay.
somebody I'm meeting up with later today, like, hey, maybe push this back a little bit.
Anyway, here's the games. Done. No.
Yeah. Go with your Sim RPG because I think the folks at home
I'm
might know what
curious.
you're gonna say.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like basically its own genre. Farming RPG is its own genre at this point, or subgenre, I guess. Stardew Valley, which is a game that the thing that I really like about it is that it's kind of a perfect co-op RPG for me because I can play it with people that I care about and want to bond with, and we start a farm together, and then I learn a lot about them. Specifically, what kind of thing do they want to do on the farm? Do they want to be the farmer, or do they want to go into the dungeon, or do they just want to flirt with girls, or do they want to or do they like the animals? What is their aesthetic? I've played with people who they don't care about aesthetic. They only care about efficiency. So they'll just line up tons and tons and tons of kegs and make things. And then I know some people who their aesthetic is we're going to have the grass everywhere. And you're just going to have to deal with walking through the grass, and you should never, ever cut the grass down. And Emily, it drove me crazy, okay? I love you, but...
I love you, and
That's crazy.
I love you, and...
No.
She's like, the animals need somewhere to eat. And I feel
That's
like,
what the
please.
troughs are for.
I started doing a thing where I would have the fenced-in area, and then I would put grass there.
yeah.
But she likes the wild and free aesthetic, and I like the curated aesthetic around my farm, and curated but naturalistic. So lots of paths, but they're not entirely linear. Lots of tons and tons of trees. Just a very comfy and lived-in place. And so I spend a lot of time on just the individual aesthetic of my farm.
I'm trying to make money here. I'm trying to turn this place into a business. We got to make some kegs, man. We got to put the sprinklers in the optimal places to hit all the plants so they all get rotated properly.
I do that too.
The troughs
but
are
it also
where the
has to
food
look pretty.
goes. Yeah. No,
It has to look pretty.
It has to look functional. I mean, look, functional can be pretty. I mean, like math is an art form, you know? That's like...
If you want to talk about dungeon crawling, Stardew Valley's dungeon crawling is pretty intense, especially when you get to when you're trying to get as deep down in the desert dungeon as you possibly can, where you're fully equipped and you bring 1 billion bombs with you, and you've taken the you've eaten the food that gives you +5 luck, plus you have an extra thing on there so that you're getting the most optimal arrangements of the randomization of the dungeons, so that you can be dropping 5-10 floors at a go, so that you can get all the way down to floor 100. That's intense.
What food gives you +5 luck?
I don't remember what the names are. There's definitely luck food.
What food in real
Some of
life
it is
do you
pretty
think would give
strong.
you luck? Because that's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm like, what food would I say makes me lucky?
A burrito.
Oh, that makes me lethargic. I don't know.
A little liquid courage, if you know what I mean.
I was gonna say like maybe a Red Bull vodka.
Yeah.
That's
I
one
like
of the
that if
ones
you
that like
drink
amps you up and
coffee-
then pulls you down.
I like that if you drink coffee, you run fast. So stuff like Lucky Lunch will give you +3 luck.
Oh, is
And
it like
that's made from a sea cucumber, tortilla, and blue jazz. I don't even know what this is,
I
but
don't know,
it's
yeah.
so it's like a fish taco. I'm feeling,
yeah,
I'm
sea
feeling pretty
cucumber
good.
taco.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know about that.
And pumpkin soup will give you +2 luck and +2 defense. And
Oh,
I love pumpkin soup.
I hate pumpkin.
Listen-
I hate pumpkin all things though.
Pumpkin plus milk.
I am
You hate all pumpkin?
That sounds so
Even
heavy.
pumpkin
Yeah.
spice lattes?
Okay, first of all, pumpkin spice is a misnomer because there ain't no pumpkin in most pumpkin spice. It's just a bunch of cinnamon, and that's it. And I
Wow.
love cinnamon, but that's a different story. No, but like
So Magic Rock Candy gives you +5 lunch, by the way.
oh, it's okay. That I would believe. Rock candy goes crazy.
Yeah.
I thought
I
you
am
when you said
so-
lucky lunch like a lunch box. If it was a little bento, I'm feeling pretty good after a moderately sized bento. I could see that.
Yeah. I'm feeling pretty lucky if I've got a little bento lunch. I'm
Yeah.
appreciative of where my life is at that point.
And it has like luck elements because sometimes you open the bento and you're like, oh my gosh, they put the little half hot dog in here, or there's the little
Yeah.
the yellow
Cut like a
pickle
little
things that I
octopus.
really like. Yeah, oh the octopus hot dog goes crazy.
I am just glad we've gotten to the point where we are accepting games like this as RPGs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have put this to rest. I feel fantastic. I feel vindicated. I'm feeling lucky.
There's a strong RPG element to Stardew Valley.
That's not what you said like 4 months ago.
Oh, whatever. The thing that I really love about this is that this game has been going for 9 years now, and the creator just really enjoys making Stardew Valley content because they can. And that feels like a rare thing in video games. It's like, yeah, just releasing another batch of free Stardew Valley content. Please enjoy.
Yeah.
It's humongous. It's a giant expansion pack. I'm addressing all of the things you want me to do. I should be working on Haunted Chocolatier, but I just felt like making more Stardew Valley content. It's what I love.
That is the interesting thing is I feel like Haunted Chocolatier got announced and then people were really excited for it because obviously it's the next, big Concerned Ape game. And then it just kind of like floated into the background. It was like, okay, here's more Stardew updates after all. And it's like, okay, is Haunted Chocolatier just going to be like are we just going to bolt that onto Stardew at this point? Like what's going to happen here? So I don't know. But I do love Stardew. I think it's a really cool story. Basically resurrected an entire genre. Like I don't think that can be undersold. There were still farming games that were happening, but Story of Seasons / Harvest Moon was so under
It went
the
from
radar.
the Harvest Moon genre to the Stardew Valley genre.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Rune Factory was still around, but nobody except for really cool people were playing Rune Factory 4. So that's you hate to see that. But now it's resurrected and all those games are getting second. They're literally re-releasing those games because there's so much tailwind from Stardew Valley. So and now every game has farming elements and we could go into an entire separate episode about the oversaturation of the farming genre, but better than an undersaturation IMO.
That is Kat's Sim RPG pick, Stardew Valley.
Okay. My CRPG pick. Bet you can't guess what this one is.
Actually,
Can you guess?
I don't know off the
Can you
top of my
guess?
head. I'm thinking a
Baldur's
CRPG.
Gate 3.
I think that's too recent. I think it's got to be something else. I think it's got to be like a.
After how many episodes about Baldur's Gate 3 I had to edit, it better be Baldur's Gate 3.
I. But did Cat actually end up? No, but Cat failed at romancing in Baldur's Gate 3, right?
I mean, in a matter of speaking, Carlac and I went down to Avernus, and she did say, "I love you, friend." And I'm like, she said she loves me.
That counts.
It counts. I mean,
I don't know,
I'm just
I was
looking
gonna
at
say
Carlac
maybe-
and going, does she want to date me, or are we just really, really, really good friends? I mean, the kissing just means that we're really close, right?
Yeah, that works that way. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Dragon Age Origins, but no, it probably is Baldur's Gate 3.
It's Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do I need to like expound on this fic? It's
Nope.
Are you,
You
a
editing this
hater,
episode?
Victor?
No, I love it. It's wonderful and fantastic.
Are you a hater?
But to hear Kat's thoughts on Baldur's Gate 3, listen to any episode of Acts of the Blood God from the year Baldur's Gate 3 came out.
I think Lae'zel's underrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
I met some friends I haven't seen in 5 years, and they were telling me about how they had been playing Baldur's Gate 3 co-op, and they just referred to Lae'zel as that green lady we don't like. And I was like, interesting.
No. Lae'zel, the best arc in that game.
Lae'zel has a fantastic arc as a young warrior with a thirst to prove herself, who's, what should we say, abrasive, but that's fine, because what ambitious woman hasn't been seen as abrasive within the patriarchy? That's all I'm saying.
God forbid a woman be a little toxic, okay? It's okay.
Yeah. God forbid. And yeah, she grows a lot. And I think that her writing is often the most poetic when she talks about how much she wants to be riding dragons throughout the many different planes of existence. Pretty cool, actually.
It's hard to go into it without spoiling anything, because there are some very big plot things that happen specifically around Lae'zel and the Gith. And I think it becomes a really incredible story about this character who has been born into a belief system, a faith system, and then has that faith shaken, and how they respond to that. And what I like about Baldur's Gate 3 is that there are, if you look at the nuts and bolts, you can see how the gears turn and you can figure out how to do everything. But when you're playing it in the moment, it never really felt like I was fully influencing which way she fell. I was just kind of trying to give someone perspective and then see like where that went from there. And I think that's the thing I've had a problem with in a lot of choice-driven RPGs over the years, is that they too often turn into, well, you're the player character, so what would you like to happen in this moment? Pick A or B and go that way. Instead, Baldur's Gate 3 has a lot of moments where you can take your hands off the wheel and let a character decide. And there's a lot of turning gears and stuff like that in the back end that do kind of ultimately decide it, because it's a video game. But there's a really cool feeling of your party members have changed because of their relationship to you, but also because of, the things that they have been exposed to throughout the journey. And you get to see that reflected in Lae'zel, in Shadowheart at the end of Act 2, in Karlach at about halfway through Act 3. There's incredible moments with all of them that I think really, really end up resonating. And yeah, no, you were talking earlier about if somebody asked, what's an RPG I should play? Baldur's Gate 3, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's the game.
On the list.
Totally.
Yeah.
And Valkyrie Profile.
And Valkyrie Profile. It's
And
on a
Valkyrie
dead system.
It's only dead in the eyes of corporate interests. Consoles are as alive as we want them to be.
Is Sony still making the PS1 Mini? Is that still a thing that's out
No.
there in the wild?
No.
You know what, Victor? That's true. The
Yeah.
Vita is alive. It's alive.
Mine is. It's an incredible homebrew of Vita, and you've got a whole world at your fingertips, man.
When I was
We got
when
a
I was
stew
packing,
going.
when I was packing, I definitely had a moment where I checked that Vita battery and I was like, I really hope this thing ain't bulging the way I hope it's. It's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna charge it when I finally like unpack and everything just to make sure the battery doesn't explode, because there were some other batteries and other systems that I pulled out and I was like, uh-oh. So
Yes, I
The
checked my
Vita is
PSP
alive
not
and
too long
wandering
ago.
the earth.
I feel like we need to set like GCal reminders to be like, check the batteries on your retro systems. If you're listening to this,
yeah.
check
Ooh.
the batteries on your retro systems.
Oh yeah.
Check your batteries.
Yeah, I had a classic Game Boy, and I didn't check the batteries for a while, and let's just say the contacts had to be cleaned in order for it to be okay.
Yeah,
Again, but-
I still have my original Game Boy Pocket, and I think that happened to one of the contacts on there, and I'm also gonna have to deal with that.
It'll get crusty in there if
Yeah.
you're not careful.
Okay. So we've done Dungeon Crawler, we've done CRPG, Sim RPG, Tactics RPG, Action RPG, Turn-Based RPG. And I guess the last of the official categories is roguelite. And I put it on here. I don't know if this should be a category. I don't know if this is strictly an RPG category, but I wanted it to be, because roguelite springs from roguelike. And roguelikes are very much an RPG. I mean, they're just dungeon crawlers with randomized elements, and the story emerges from the mechanics. But games like NetHack and Rogue have always been a little too spicy for me. Sorry, I'm not a real gamer. But roguelites, on the other hand, I find very joyous, and I think that a game like Hades, for example, borrows a lot from the RPG tradition, and it's my favorite roguelite. I love that the randomization and the concept of dungeon runs, and you get loot. You build up your area. That is so RPG. Even if you're not always even if you're not building your character in a very traditional kind of RPG way, it hits at the sectors of my brain that RPGs hit at. That's why I'm putting Hades on this list. Y'all should play Hades if you haven't. It's really good. And I am so excited to be playing Hades 2 in a few days.
Yeah.
I'm getting the Switch 2 version. I'm just going to pick it up.
Have you?
I already have it on. I'm going to start it over. I played early access. I played a lot of early access, actually.
There is cross save, so you can play it over
yes.
if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like Hades 2 a lot. I'm interested to see how I feel about it once I play the 1.0, because I definitely had the feeling when I was playing it early access that, you know, comparing it to finished Hades can feel like an unfair comparison, because finished Hades, once it was out there, was it quite literally changed the games industry. I think you talk about games that had a massive impact on not just its own genre, but every single other genre. And I think Hades is easily in that conversation, because it so effortlessly melded story with gameplay in a way that you don't see a lot of modern games manage so cleanly. You know, it took the structure of a roguelite, because, you know, some of our favorite ones that we talk about, Balatro, Slay the Spire, FTL, Into the Breach, those all have run mechanics, and the idea is you want to do runs over and over again, but trying to teach a player that failure is okay and you should just jump back in and go back in and maybe try something different or go for different builds. They put so many good teasers in there to do it. They said, hey, look at these hot, sexy Greek gods. Don't you want to like talk to them more? You should pick up their boons and give them gifts and things like that. And then that'll encourage you. And I just think Hades is revelatory and absolutely an incredible pick for the shelf, for sure.
The characterization is so good, so high quality. Go ahead.
Eric, you brought up Finnish Hades, and that just made me curious. And yes, there is in Finnish mythology the god Tuoni is the god of the underworld. So there, if anyone's
The Finnish Hades. Yeah.
the Finnish Hades. Yeah.
I mean, Supergiant, in my humble opinion, has never made a bad game. Supergiant has honestly all bangers all the way down. Transistor does not get as much love as it should, frankly.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah. Pyre. We don't talk about some Pyre in here. One of the best sports games of the last decade or so. Yeah.
So should I put Madden on here? No, just kidding.
But yeah, I think Hades is just it changed the industry. I think it is one of those pillar games that'll be remembered for years. Yeah.
Yes, and it already is remembered.
Oh yeah.
I guess I could have put Balatro on here, but
Okay,
all right.
That might be heretical. I was gonna say I don't know if Balatro's gonna have the same impact. I feel like Balatro is singular in a way. And other people have tried to make Balatro, but they just try to make Balatro. But I think Hades would.
A lot of people would put Slay the Spire in this spot.
Now that
I thought hard about Slay the Spire. I really like Slay the Spire. I think it deserves to be on the shelf. I finished it and then I was like, okay, I'm good. And I moved on with my life. And a lot of people are kind of like that with Stardew Valley. They get their big farm, they go, okay, I'm moving on with my life. I kept playing Stardew Valley. I didn't keep playing Slay the Spire. All the respect in the world for Slay the Spire. I just didn't feel the need to keep going with that one.
Well, when we get to my perfect RPG library, we'll talk a lot about Slay the Spire. But it is
I bet we will.
solely responsible for why every game has a pick 3 system now. It is every game has pick 3 because of Slay the Spire.
It's been interesting to watch the roguelite genre grow and evolve over time and borrow heavily from elements that have worked in many different RPG subgenres over the years. And you can almost say that the pick 3 system is not that dissimilar from picking different types of loot, for example. But, okay. I have 3 wild cards on here, and I almost feel like I should just reveal them all now for the sake of time, since we're at the 90-minute mark, or we can keep going.
Let's do give it.
Let's play it
to
out,
us and we can. Yeah,
we won't need to
discuss.
drag it out. Yeah, we can. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So wild card
make
number
this
1,
happen.
Cat Bailey's wild card number 1.
Number 1.
Monster collecting, Pokemon Crystal. I have to have a Pokemon game on this list,
Perfect.
and
Cat-
Pokemon Crystal is the one that I like.
It's the one.
most.
It's the best one. It is.
Best one.
It honestly is. Yeah, you talk about Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think there's no conversation in
Yeah.
which Crystal's not at the top. So,
Yeah.
right. Cat Bailey's wild card pick number 2.
Number 2.
The obligatory Final Fantasy pick, Final Fantasy VIII.
Yo.
Wonderful. Yes. Good. Good choice.
I love that
I mean-
the magic card it says GF Ifrit. So, and I know that's for grand function, but I like to call it girlfriend Ifrit. And that's the legacy of Final Fantasy VIII.
Like gluten-free Ifrit.
Oh, that's good too.
The legacy of Final Fantasy VIII is the train song, which honestly should have been a saga in Magic the Gathering's Final Fantasy set.
The anthem for quirky girls in the early 2000s and late 90s everywhere.
Train, take me away. I mean, I love 5, I love 6, I love 7, I love 4. And any one of those could have gone on this. But 8 is the one that I feel like is the most Cat Bailey branded pick. And it's a good thing Nadia's not on this episode because she'd be groaning really loudly hearing me say this. Final Fantasy VIII.
Played it. So I'm curious though, is FF8
Wait, is it
a
not?
game when-
I thought it was Grand Function. No, I was thinking Grand Junction. I haven't played Final Fantasy VIII.
Guardian Force.
It's Guardian Force. That's
Guardian
crazy.
Force.
Guardian
That's
Force.
the name of a different
I'm
video
sorry
game.
I just wanted to see how long. I just wanted to see how long it would take before somebody said, Eric, are you sure it's Grand Function?"
I haven't played, and I know FF8 has Junction, so I was like, oh, they probably kept the unction and just made it function.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Go ahead.
I'm curious. Is FF8 a game that you like remembering fondly, or is it a game you enjoy playing through now? Still, like, is that a
yes.
game you go back to and play through?
I replayed it for the Pantheon several years ago. It was our second Pantheon that we ever did, and I was pleased by how easily it went down, I guess you could say. I was finishing it in around 20 hours or so. I just loved the vibes. Just loved it. I loved the world design. I loved the music. I found the cast charmingly cheesy, I guess you could say. And it was filled with really memorable moments. And I continue to enjoy breaking that battle system over my knee.
Yeah.
And I love all the things that you can go and find in that game. So many weird things. In Magic, there's the little UFO. That's a Final Fantasy VIII thing. Or GFs wandering around like the Jumbo Cactuar, or going down and fighting Ultima Weapon, or finding out how going to the island closest to Hell and farming up the stuff that you need to make a Lionheart. Playing triple triad.
Closest to Hell.
Yeah.
Was
There's
that
also
in
the island
Dante's
closest to
Inferno?
heaven.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I
You
should
fight
ask.
T-Rexes down there.
Yeah, that's
They're
where
really
the
strong.
T-Rex is. That's where they went after the
Yeah.
meteor hit. Yeah. Like, we shouldn't put them in hell, but like, yeah, they're not island closest to hell.
I really want to play 6 again. I mean, am I going to claim that 8's better than 6? No. And I actually really want... I've been really kind of champing at the bit to replay 6 recently. But 8 is a game that I will replay again before I die. Put it that way. Some games, I'll just feel like, that's cool. I'm never playing this game again. 8 is one of those games I will play again.
Let me tell you all about how much people can want you to play Final Fantasy VI. Let me tell you all about how strong people's desire is for someone else to play Final Fantasy VI.
I am genuinely saddened at the idea that, Kat, you will no longer be beholden to a Final Fantasy XIV playthrough, if only because you would enjoy Shadowbringers so much.
No, wait a minute. Cat doesn't get out of FF14 like that easy. No.
Hey, after fighting for so long, I gotta cut my losses. I can't keep this up.
Okay, you can take a break and I'll step in because
I'm happy to pass the baton.
We commit to these things. You said to Heaven's Word, through Heaven's Word. It's happening. It's happening. You're like already at the end of Realm Reborn. Like you're already almost there.
Pretty close.
I know that Shadowbringers would hit hard for Kat Bailey in some really lovely ways. And I'm saddened that just might not ever happen, because I think you would enjoy that experience quite a bit.
Playing the Eden raids with Kat Bailey would go crazy hard, and then playing Sorrows of Werelit with Kat Bailey, like Shadowbringers.
Specifically those two.
Shadowbringers, the main story content goes crazy hard. Honestly, again, still one of the best RPG stories I think I've ever played. But then
100%.
You have Sorrows of Werelit and the Eden raids on top of it. That's crazy good.
Two of the best pieces of side content. I mean, Shadowbringers also has Save the Queen, which is some of the best Ivalice stuff. I mean,
and then we've got the Nier raids, and I know some people don't like the Nier raids. I like the Nier raids, but
I love the Nier raids.
Yeah,
they're great.
Especially the third one. Everyone talks about the first one. No, the third one goes crazy hard.
Third one's incredible.
Yeah. Sorry, zoned out for a minute.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you went to
I
a
could
different
tell.
place. Yeah.
Yeah. Heaven forbid your friends try to introduce you to an experience that they know would change your life for the better.
God forbid we invite you to the grand function.
I'm glad that we did this at least one more time before I went away. Okay, and the last obligatory pick is Super Robot Wars.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
to have an obligatory Super Robot Wars on this.
Do you like
and
that
actually,
series? That's crazy. I never knew that about you.
I like the idea of it.
I actually don't think any wars are super, but yeah, go ahead, Kat.
Uh-huh.
I usually think they're tragic and
We
bad.
call it
but-
Super Robot Wars.
What if there are robots involved?
It's
well, then, fine.
it's super mechs because robots don't have pilots in them, right? So why do they call it Super Robot?
Right? These aren't robots.
I love how Kat has now realized that this is a venue for us to just torture her.
Well, that's what happens when we're doing this segment now. You're just in the box. Now you get to be tortured.
Yeah, this is the Bene Gesserit Gom Jabbar. You have to put your hand in the box and name your favorite RPGs.
I would put Super Robot Wars Alpha 3. Okay. This won't mean anything to anybody. The first Super Robot Wars I ever played was W on the DS, which is a beautiful looking game. Really enjoyed the music. I think still holds up pretty well. There's a fan translation of it, and that would be the other pick that I would consider on this one. It has Gundam Wing in it, Full Metal Panic, Voltron. Big fan of it. But Alpha 3 is... It's on the PlayStation 2, and I think it just holds up really well. It's one of the only places that you can get the original story for Gundam Seed. It has End of Evangelion in it. It has a just huge number of classic giant robot franchises. The tons and tons and tons of original characters. It was the culmination of a 4-game series that ran across the PlayStation and PlayStation 2. Had multiple branching paths. When you finish it, you could select different protagonists to be playing as. It's really cool, actually. And I enjoy listening to the music still. And every so often I will pick it up and play it again. Super Robot Wars Z, I think, is held in higher esteem by the fans, and it has a lot of cool games on there. And arguably the graphics are better, but Alpha 3 is the pick for me. That's all.
I like Alpha 3 because they added Rainbow Mika and Cody from Final Fight.
I was about to say, I too love Street Fighter Alpha 3.
I love Alpha 3 as well, actually.
It's a good one.
Cody is one of my mains in Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Cody's sick.
Haha, haha, haha. So that is my perfect RPG library. Valkyrie Profile, Pokemon Crystal, The Witcher 3, Fire Emblem, Stardew Valley, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 8, Hades, Etrian Odyssey 5, and Super Robot Wars Alpha 3.
It's a good
Wow.
list.
Thoughts?
It's a good shelf.
Good shelf. Do you enjoy this shelf?
Good shelf.
Would you enjoy this shelf?
Here's the thing: I wouldn't enjoy everything on the shelf, but that's not the important part. The important part is that you would enjoy everything on the shelf.
I would.
Yeah.
And have and continue to.
Yeah.
Those are the
I
games.
should
That's
play
the shelf.
Crystal. That's the one that I look at. I'm like, I should probably play Crystal at some point because I've only played Gold, Silver. I've never gone on and played Crystal.
You know what Game Boy Color era Pokemon games are great for? Japanese practice. Pokemon Crystal is that's my game. That's the like. Once I've played
kanji.
Pokemon Crystal, no kanji. It's just that's your hiragana and katakana, and just understanding basic grammar of NPCs that have 2 lines of dialogue. Incredible stuff.
See, I was
I
going to
played
use
Gen 4 exclusively in Japanese
Wow.
because I lived in Japan when it was coming out, and so and that was before you would get the worldwide releases.
Yeah.
So I would just pick up the Japanese version because I didn't want to wait and play through it.
I was going to use Dragon Quest for that, but Pokemon. I had not considered that vector. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's because it's for kids,
Yeah.
and kanji is kind of complicated even if you're a Japanese youngster. So
Pokemon's actually really deep and for adults too. So
It's all ages.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to Pokemon Za.
Za.
That'd be cool.
Za.
Za.
am I
What?
okay? Here's something, because in Japan they use the British and Canadian. They use the Commonwealth pronunciation of Z as Zed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is it supposed to be a pun? Is it Zeta? Like
So
Zeta?
Zeta slow.
It might be Zeta. Yeah.
I mean, I know they're not calling it that here, but is that the intent? Was that what they were trying to do? I don't know. Food for thought. Chime in the comments.
I don't know that I've ever heard the Japanese pronunciation of that game. So now I want to go open up a Nintendo Direct and see how they pronounce it.
Yeah, me too.
Huh.
I thought it was just Pokemon Za. Za.
It's technically Z through A. I've just been slowly psyoping everybody into calling it Za.
Yeah.
That's what everybody else calls it.
We had a work meeting at Game Informer the other day, and I kept calling it Za. And at one point, someone had to be like, "Eric, what game are you talking about? Are you okay?" And I was like, "It's Z through A," but I'm not gonna say Pokemon Legends Z through A every single time. I'm just gonna say Pokemon Za. It's easier.
Couple of honorable mentions for my library. I would consider putting Persona 3 Reload on here. And also Cyberpunk 2077 really made a strong impression on me. Yeah, and then obviously Dragon Quest V, Final Fantasy VI, games like that. But I was trying to limit myself a little bit. What do you think, dear listener, of my picks for my perfect RPG library? I want to hear about them over on the Discord, which you can join if you join the Patreon. And of course, look forward to the rest of the picks from the various hosts as time goes on. And listen to all the Pantheons, because most of these have Pantheon episodes. Final Fantasy VIII has a Pantheon, Fire Emblem, Pokemon. One of the Pokemons has a Pantheon. I think just Red and Blue, and Pokemon weirdly Black and White have one. Valkyrie Profile has one. Still need to do a Stardew Valley Pantheon someday. I look forward to it.
That's because up until weeks ago, you said it wasn't an RPG.
It's been in the voting. We've done voting around it.
Victor is like Grimes in The Simpsons. I think
She's
Stardew's an
gonna get-
RPG because I'm Cat Bailey.
Nadia, change the channel.
Oh my gosh.
That's cat. That's our cat. Audience laughing. All right, that's my perfect RPG library. It's time now for a series of random encounters.
Oh,
Right after
Christ.
this. Okay, it's time now for a series of random encounters. A job listing is hinting that Cyberpunk 2 will have a multiplayer mode. After the original was scrapped. Wow, a multiplayer mode. I literally cannot even imagine it. Maybe online co-op?
Yeah.
GTA Online style? What are we going to get out of this?
Doing some heists would be kind of sick, but honestly, I'm not that interested in whatever this is. I'm good.
I'm also good. Though, if they did online co-op, that'd be kind of cool, I suppose. Explore Night City together. Do some quests together. We need more co-op RPGs, is what I'm saying. The Witcher Season 4 premiere date has been confirmed for October 30th on Netflix. The official account teased it with a clip of Liam Hemsworth battling a night wraith. I watched it. It was pretty cheesy. It was okay, but whatever. Liam Hemsworth is replacing Henry Cavill, who left the show at the end of season 3. I enjoyed The Witcher season 1. Season 2 was less quality. Season 3 apparently was even worse, maybe. So I think we're getting diminishing returns on The Witcher on Netflix, unfortunately. Maybe a case study of like, it's a little, not that faithful to the source material. Looks like it could have been on cable television in the 90s at times.
Yeah, it's got big sci-fi series energy to it at times, and I'm just like, I watched season 1. I think I watched a couple episodes of season 2, and I was like, I'm good. I'll read the books. I'll play the games. That's fine.
Remember when Toss a Coin to Your Witcher went viral?
I know this is supposed to be random encounters, but that felt like a forced virality. That felt like Netflix was walking around, be like, "Hey, fellow kids, toss a coin to your Witcher." Am I right? And I was just like, it wore out fast. It was good for about a week, and then the brands caught on, and it was like, no, it's too much now.
It was very catchy.
It was catchy. It was good.
Yeah, it was catchy.
And then the brands ruined it.
Go listen to our complete review of The Witcher season 1 that we did as part of the Patreon way back at the beginning of the Patreon. We did every episode. We did a deep dive into every episode of season 1, and then we stopped because we didn't need to keep going after that.
And then you
Speaking of which,
never did another watch along of a TV series that went on way too long and went way too deep.
Thank God. The Avatar series was really fun. I'll say that. Fun. And actually one of my favorite things that we've done on the show. And I'm really happy I got to watch Avatar and Korra as a result. And it makes me feel all the more excited for the upcoming Avatar, The Last Airbender Magic the Gathering release.
It was all part of my crazy scheme to make you watch Avatar. That was it. That was the whole goal of the entire undertaking, was just to make you watch Avatar.
It was successful, and I came away going, that was a good show.
Yeah, I'm glad your scheme to get Kat to enjoy something worked.
This is why I'm the Riddler. You gotta figure out how to make the long plan happen. Long con.
Someone in chat did say, Kat begging for more co-op RPGs. No MMOs, though. Just co-op RPGs. If only there was a giant Final Fantasy that was co-op that we could all play together as
we talk
friends.
about Stranger of Paradise?
Oh, hell yeah.
So, with MMORPGs, I need to feel like when I'm playing an RPG, one of my favorite things is feeling like I'm losing myself in the world. And it's really hard to suspend disbelief when I'm playing an MMORPG because I walk around and everybody's standing around the hubs and there's goofy text everywhere. And what the heck is that mount over there? And I feel like I'm playing a video game and I want to feel like I'm in a world. And Final Fantasy XIV is much like many other MMORPGs in that regard. The closest I've actually ever been able to come to suspending my disbelief, I've said before, if you can believe it, is Star Trek Online, where I felt a real sense of ownership over my spaceship. My spaceship specifically that I named and was flying around. That's all.
I've got rebuttals, but
we do have to end this podcast at some point.
We got to end this podcast at some point.
Yeah, that might be a post show.
Yeah.
A canceled Witcher spin-off on Netflix called The Rats is reportedly back from the dead as a movie. It would focus on a band of misfits that Ciri joins in season 3. Yuji Horii has explained why Dragon Quest VII is getting remade before 4, 5, and 6. Quote, "A lot of things are moving around, but it was just done first by chance." Lucky!
Sure.
This drew a... Just rolled the dice and went... rolled a D20. Whoop!
Honestly, that would
7 again.
Own. Yeah.
Sure.
That would be great.
7. Just by chance. Really? Just by chance? Just do 9. The Chinese Room and Paradox are have added the La Sombra and Toreador clans to the base game following backlash over them being launch day DLC.
To the base
Previously,
game of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
yes. Previously, they had been launch DLC, and the Chinese room and Paradox had said it's a business decision. And that created a lot of backlash among fans. And now these two clans are in the main game. Yay!
I've said it before, but it feels like Paradox is doing everything it can to get in the way of this game having any success, because a lot of the bad quotes that have come out around this game were from Paradox, and a lot of the bad business decisions around this game came from Paradox. And I really feel for every developer that has had a hand in this game so far, in the multiple iterations of this game that have existed over the last 10 years or so. It's been troubling. I'm still looking forward to it, but yeah, it was. I think La Sombra was one thing because that would have been a new clan entirely, but Toreador was not only a clan in Bloodlines 1 that you could play as, but it was a pretty popular clan. It was, I would say, seen as one of the default clans because it was the charisma class. Essentially, it was the bard type character that would solve everything by talking and seducing and all that kind of stuff, and it's very popular in a vampire themed RPG. So I think seeing that in the DLC was really surprising, to say the least, and so I'm glad that they have capitulated and said, okay, there's other DLC they have lined up, like story-based DLC and stuff, that I think makes more sense for that later on. So Bloodlines 2 continues to be a thing and just have problems. I'm looking forward to it, though.
Expedition 33 has topped 4.4 million in sales. Yakuza Kiwami 3 appears to be on the way based on an RGG website leak. I'd play that one. Yeah. Maybe someday I'll finish one of the Yakuza games. I should put that on my list.
You should play Yakuza 0. What are we doing? Pantheon.
I know. It's on the list. It's on the list. And finally, Sting has announced Baroque for Switch, a collection of 4 games in the Baroque series. Baroque typing is notably absent. I have to assume this is a Victor Hunter edition to the random encounters. Oh yeah! What's Baroque typing?
Crawlers.
Talking about dungeon crawlers.
Is it like typing of the dead?
Baroque typing, yes, it's actually it's deep. There's a lot going on in Baroque typing. Its absence is one of the things that make me think that this might be getting an English release, because that would be incredibly difficult to localize.
Yes.
But so Baroque, my first experience with Baroque was back on the Wii when I was playing anything on the Wii that was an RPG. Let me tell you about Opuna. Let me tell you about Arkwri's Fantasia.
I think we get demonetized if we talk about Opuna.
Baroque, the Saturn version, a great fan translation out there for it. Incredible first person, very oppressive dungeon crawl. The Wii and PS2 remake in the 2000s, they sort of made a third person game, which, whatever. I have no strong feelings about it either way. But what I love about this collection, with the title of a hardcore dungeon crawling RPG, is that 75% of this collection is not RPG. This is a mobile game that plays like Frogger. This is a sound novel adaptation of a novel. And a shooting game.
I was gonna say one of them's a shmup, right?
Shooter. Yeah. One's an STG, and that's delightful. I hope this thing gets an English release, because it's very cool. It's a very eclectic mix of games, and Baroque just on its own is really solid.
Really, really something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Rolling into the tavern, and we're almost 2 hours deep into this podcast.
Sorry,
so
Alexi.
Don't think we can go too long on this one.
No,
I think
no.
I'm editing this one.
Oh,
Victor's
okay.
editing this
Well,
one.
then it's your burden to bear. You're at fault for this. So honestly, that feels right.
Hey, I was like, maybe Alexi can be the producer since Victor is going to be a full-time host, and Victor was like, I like editing. I want to keep
I
editing
want
the
to do more
podcast.
editing.
I do.
And I was
It's
like,
fun.
whatever you say, man.
It's gonna be crazy when you do edit big cut-ins on episodes that you're on. That's gonna go crazy.
Hey, it's Victor from the editing bay. I just want to say that Cat's list is bullshit.
I like your list.
Aw,
I like
thank
it a
you.
lot. I think it's wonderful.
I was being self-deprecating. Thank you.
I
That's really nice
meant
of you to
it
say.
when the topic of these kinds of episodes came up. I enthusiastically supported it because I think it is fun to just be able to ask questions of each other about our favorite games. I think it's an opportunity to show some personality, and I think it's a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to doing this for everybody.
I too often ask,
Yeah.
why would you say that?
Trails in the Sky FC remake is here at last, and Eric, I think you've been playing it.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle of chapter 1, closing on chapter 2 right now for those at home who've played the game. Trails in the Sky, for those who don't know, let's do a really brief overview. There's the Legend of the Heroes series that kind of spun off of Dragon Slayer, if I remember my history correctly. And Trails, much like Persona spun off from SMT, Trails kind of spun off of the Legend of Heroes series. There's some other ones that are in that series, like Nayuta, that are not really super related. I don't know it. Leave in the comments. I don't. It's a whole thing. But Trails is kind of the long-running series that all exists within this larger world, and they're broken up into arcs based on their geographical location. The first arc is the Laburel arc, and then followed by the Crossbell, aka the Cop arc, and then the Military School Erebonian arc, and all of them, well, really just, to my understanding, Crossbell and Erebonia get an epilogue in, I think it's Reverie and something. Yeah, and now we're on the Horizon series, which is in Calvard. I was doing a lot of research on this to make sure I showed up and knew my shit. So, all of that is to say, there's a lot of stuff that Trails has existed. They've been coming out like crazy. Nihon Falcom has been putting these out for a while. And finally, we have a remake of the first game, which for the longest time was only available either on a Windows PC or a PlayStation Vita in the West, or a PlayStation Portable in the West, and then later on Vita when PSP became portable. So now we have a more widely available version remade of the first game. And folks, this is the Yakuza 0 moment. IMO. This is if you have ever thought about playing a Trails game, this is the one to play. This is where you start. This is where you pick it up. Because I think when a lot of people try to sell you on the Trails series, they say, oh, it's got such a big world. There's so many things happening and all the games connect to each other. And like, yeah, that's great. But it also makes it sound like I'm assigning homework to myself, like there's too much that people lead with. And there's always the question of, oh, well, you can start with this arc or you can start with this arc, but you should really start with that arc. No, just start with Trails in the Sky. You play as a Stelbright, a young up-and-coming bracer who's kind of like a citizen soldier who's kind of extra governmental, but mainly just like assists people with chores and hunts monsters and stuff like that. You're kind of just helping around town. Things happen. You get caught up in what might be something big happening. There's kind of always stuff hovering in the background that seems like big political stuff, but really it's like small scale. You're going around towns, you're helping people out, you're doing small jobs, you're fighting base level monsters. I played this game for probably about 20 hours. I think I'm still level 9 or 10. It's great. I love it. that rules, and it has a sense of scale that feels very quaint, if that makes sense. And I think in an era of, I think a lot about FF7 Remake and stuff like that, where, it's all about big, huge stories and stuff like that. Trails in the Sky feels so much more contained that it reminds me a lot of very early Hunter x Hunter or like very early One Piece, where you're just kind of going from place to place and there's little stories happening that are kind of building up a broader arc, but really you're just kind of following the adventures of these characters as they get sort of more entwined in the goings-ons of the world, as they become, adults who are living in the world and have to participate in it, and what that means and how their world is affected by the events of the past and the events that are transpiring around them. And that's my sell on, like, you should play Trails in the Sky FC. It's a secret banger of the year, and I'm really surprised by how much this game is really capturing me.
Well, if you listen to the Pantheon, you would know that it's always been a banger, and it shouldn't be a surprise at all that it's capturing your love and attention. But remember when it was revealed on a Nintendo Direct sizzle reel?
A Nintendo Direct sizzle reel that basically had no additional information on it. It was just like like 5
Here it
to 8
is.
seconds of a 3D cutscene, and people were like, "What was that?" There's been a lot of that going around. I think Demon School got its release date only in the Nintendo Japan Direct and not in the English Nintendo Direct, which is kind of crazy. But Trails in the Sky first chapter, first of all, I've also heard runs very well on all kinds of platforms. I've been playing it on PC, but it's also on Switch too. So if you want to switch to RPG, I mean, that's the one. Go play it. Like, I really cannot stress that enough. It's got the action combat from Metaphor. I think that was one of the newer additions from more recent Trails games, is they have the ability to kind of fight stuff in the overworld. So if you are over its level, or you want to get like an advantage going into turn-based, you can build up a stun meter and then launch into a turn-based. It's very similar to the way Metaphor does it. And I think that's maybe my only nitpick, is that doesn't always feel great. It feels a little too basic, especially for how much you have to do it to build up stun meter on some heavier enemies. It doesn't always feel fantastic, but the actual turn-based combat's really, really fun. I love the orb mint system. It's, if you like to build craft, oh my lord. The putting the orbs in and then seeing like, okay, I've built up enough of these different colors to unlock new elemental attacks and things like that, and building out these characters over time is really fun and really interesting. Yeah. No, this game slaps. Y'all were right. I mean, I never really doubted you. I was just like, I don't want to play a really old game on my PC because I'd travel and things, and I didn't want to bring
There's
my
a lot
Steam
of
Deck
charm
everywhere.
to the original release, actually.
I know now I'm like, well, see, so word on the
Victor and I are
street.
aligned on this one.
Word on the street is that it seems like SC remake is inevitable. I read somewhere that it seems like there is a teaser for it at the end of FC, essentially. And it really seems like they would not make an FC remake without also making an SC remake. But there is absolutely a world in which I finish this game and I say, I'm going to go play the original SC now. Or maybe I wait for the SC remake, but then go play Trails 3rd, the original version, to finish it out, because I'm liking the characters. I'm liking the world. It's a nice world. Estelle's cool. Like, Estelle's a really compelling
There's a reason that
protagonist.
Estelle
Yeah.
got to the top of our RPG tournament bracket once upon a time.
Yeah, and pointing out in the chat, Drew RWX says the storytelling, how orbits explain the magic system, but also the geopolitics. I love that stuff when they start getting into what does it mean that people have discovered this magical crystal that can literally do magic, and different levels of refinement can do, like, they're diamonds that make lightning shoot out of you. So what does that mean for who has power in this world, who has buying power, who has economic advantage? Why would countries invade each other for this stuff? I think that's the good stuff right there. That's the really good stuff. So yeah, it's really good. I can't recommend it enough, especially if you have a Switch 2 and you're looking for something a little bit meatier, as Lands might seek after. This is something to dig into. I like it.
Well, Trails in the Sky FC, once again, go listen to the Pantheon. It's really cool. And if you like Trails in the Sky FC, Eric, well, I have good news for you about Trails SC and Trails 3rd.
I've heard SC is basically, FC and SC are one whole, and they split it into 2 games for some reason. And apparently FC just leads directly into SC and is incredible, and so I'm very much looking forward to that.
I'm amazed that you don't know. I'm not going to say anything else.
I don't know. I literally I don't know anything about this story. I have
Everybody's like, don't spoil Eric. Don't spoil Eric on the
I have theories. Would you like
Okay.
me to voice my theories for posterity?
Yes, I want to hear your theories.
Okay,
for
so
posterity.
Joshua, your adoptive brother. So there's Estelle, and then you've got her dad Cassius, who seems to be a pretty just goated dude who has a killer mustache and just kicks ass. I love him. He's great. And he's also apparently a really good bracer. And then you have your adopted brother Joshua, who this broody little dude always just every time something good happens, he walks off to the side and he's like, "They don't know about my dark secret." It's like, okay, there's something going on there. Like that dude's wrestling with the demons, and he's probably going to have some sort of betrayal moment at some point. I think that's kind of like broadcasted blaring red alarms. Like there's going to be a point where all of a sudden something like end of Dragon Age 2 where something happens. You're like, how could you do this? Your sudden but inevitable betrayal. Like he's going to do something that shocks everybody else. I don't know what it is yet, but he's just brooding about it the whole time. Sherazard is a model upstanding role model if I've ever seen one. She's great. Love her. Super glad I picked her for my fantasy draft a while back when we were doing the the party draft. She rules. I don't think I have any other party members yet. I know there's a dude with a gun because he's on the cover. I know about that, and I think there's like an engineer girl that is also in the opening cutscene that seems like she's going to be a party member. But I'm doing some of the bows stuff with the general who hates bracers and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I am in the story. And it's really good. I really, really like it. Yeah, I like that Estelle is a sneakerhead. I did not expect that to be a character plot point, that she's just really into sneaker culture. I've never seen an RPG protagonist who's like, "Are those the new shoes? Those are sick!" Like she's gonna hit the drop shipping and all that kind of stuff. That rules.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope everybody was taking notes on that so that we can revisit it when Eric finishes Trails FC.
Yeah. Those are all my theories. Is Joshua inevitable betrayal, Sherazard perfect, no notes, and Estelle maybe finds a new pair of sneakers. That'd be sick. What if the sneakers are story critical? That'd be awesome.
Well, normally we would say, Nadia, take us home, but Nadia is off having Canadian cigarettes. So we're just going to read a couple of notes. We continued to have a conversation about who is playing the PlayStation 5, or what are you playing exactly? And last time around, it was the Steam Deck. We ended up talking a little bit about the Switch 2 versus the Steam Deck, and I was kind of commenting that I was like, I think I like my Switch 2 better than my Steam Deck these days, even though like I really enjoy the customization and the compatibility. And that keyed off a little bit of a conversation among people in the chat room. And here's what they said. I have a series, this was from Introvert. I have a Series X, PS5, Steam Deck, and Switch 2. My son has a gaming PC, but I don't use it much. My two most used systems are the Deck and the Switch 2. They both functionally serve the same purpose. Handheld gaming that I can dock to a TV. But Deck gives me access to my huge Steam library plus emulation. Switch 2 gives me access to Nintendo stuff. I barely touch the Xbox or PS5 anymore. I bought a ton of Switch 1 games before I got a Deck, but I'm more and more just buying things on Steam now unless it's a Switch exclusive or if I really want a physical copy. But with GKCs, that reason is starting to wane as well, unfortunately. Game key cards specifically.
I was about to say, we forgot to mention that the price of the Xbox is going up, which is
Whoop.
wild. Shouldn't
the
matter
Xbox is
because
very
they're
end of life.
under the BDS anyway. So
it's
you know what's not coming with me to England? My
Xbox?
Xbox.
Yeah.
My Xbox is staying here. It's going to be a Blu-ray player. It'll have a good retirement.
It's just wild to me that so they already increased prices once and they're going up again. Mm-hmm. They still haven't announced a price point for the the like Xbox ROG Ally, have they?
It'll be more than $1,000, I bet.
Yeah, which do you want a Steam Deck that costs that much money? So yeah, as this continues to go on, that folks, this is why I said that thing about the PlayStation 5 in the first place. I was like, it's going to keep getting more expensive, and gaming PCs have never looked more attractive. And I mean, a Switch
And
too.
it will still be actively funding genocide.
Yeah. Well, you could Linux build it.
September 17th, IGN had a report. It's looking more and more likely that the Rogue Ally and the Rogue the Rogue Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X handhelds will be priced at $549 and $899, respectively, thanks to former IGN staffer Destin Legary. In a YouTube video, Legary claims to have confirmed the pricing with his local Best Buy, which spilled the beans when he called to ask. Just be sure to take this with a grain of salt. So $900 for a handheld, that's like $200 more than a Steam Deck. DJ Syndrome says, my wife and daughter have decks and good gaming PCs and are PC-only gamers. I've been console-only and used Macs. Borrowing a deck convinced me to finally dump PlayStation and get into PC gaming. I'll have to rebuy a few things already owned on PSN and build a new gaming PC at some point. But between this and the Switch 2, I'll be set. So in a roundabout way, the deck was my gateway into PC gaming.
I think a Steam Deck is pretty solid nowadays, especially if you don't want to go all the way into a gaming PC, and it runs so much. And honestly, like, there's not a lot of games coming out that need the horsepower anyways, especially if you don't play a lot of AAAs. If you play RPGs, I mean, I haven't tried Trails on the Steam Deck yet, but I can imagine it probably runs at least okay. I think actually friend of the show, John Carson, was playing it a little bit on Steam Deck and said that after he optimized it and tinkered with the settings, it was running pretty well. So RPG Site usually has really good coverage of this stuff, so you should go check them out. But yeah, if you're playing RPGs nowadays, the Steam Deck has never really looked more appealing. So
I think Persona 3 reloads 30 FPS on the Switch too, and I can get it at 40 FPS on the Steam Deck. It's just what I'll say on that front.
Okay.
Also, you can really easily mod things on the Steam Deck, which is cool. When we did our Oblivion Oblivion,
You can
Morrowind.
easily mod things? Cat, that's a lot to ask. just because we are enthusiasts doesn't mean you can expect the average person
what did
to
y'all
want to
do
mod
to
a
Victor while I
console.
was gone? I leave for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden Victor is acting
You
like the
Riddler-fied
puppy.
me.
Yeah.
You Riddler-fied me.
No, that's Joker-fied. That's different. Riddler does it.
I have
for
a
the
response. I have a response to Victor's sniping at me.
Rebuttal.
Counterspell. No, the Steam Deck is a boutique handheld that not that many people have purchased. And the kind of person who would buy a Steam Deck, who would buy it directly from the Steam store, is the kind of person who would go through the trouble of going into the little desktop on Steam and reading the guides in order to figure out how to download mods on their Steam Deck and apply them to Morrowind. I, as an enthusiast, was pleased with how easy it was to mod games on the Steam Deck, but the average player would probably find that a little overwhelming because the Steam Deck is an enthusiast device. That's all.
None of this matters because the average player is probably a 16 to 24-year-old Zoomer who's playing Roblox right now and not listening to this podcast.
That's what's been my point this entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. Save it for the post show, Hunter.
Post show.
The counterspell resolves.
Yeah. Pass priority.
Magic the Gathering. Well, we're gonna lose at least 50% of our Magic the Gathering references when I leave here.
I'll just amp mine.
Yeah.
Up.
I'm on the fence about whether I'm gonna bring my Steam Deck with me to the UK. I think I'm going to.
Bring your Steam Deck. I mean, it's big, but it's not that big.
No, and I got an OLED and it's significantly lighter than the Switch 2. I just really like my Switch 2 these days. That's my kind of preferred system to play on. If I play anything on my Steam Deck, it's probably going to be Saturn games or Dreamcast games. One of the two. But and I have a handful of other games, but by and large, the Steam Deck is far from my preferred platform. If I can play something on Switch 2, that's where I prefer to go for the most part. It's just something that I put up with. I needed to play Cyberpunk 2077 on the road. I played it on Switch 2 or on Steam Deck. I needed to play Witcher 3 on the road. Not Witcher 3. Baldur's Gate 3 on the road when it first came out. Played it on my Steam Deck.
That's wild because I tried it on Steam Deck.
It was not a great experience on the Steam Deck, but it was enough. I played probably when I finally loaded that thing up on my PC, my mind was blown.
Yes.
At how much better it looked. I was like, oh, well, I guess I know what I'm going to be sticking with from now on. And yet, I kept playing it because I got used to it after a while. And with that, that's the end of this week's episode of Axe of the Blood God, an extra large episode of Axe of the Blood God. Thank you so much for listening. As always, if you enjoy the show, please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/bloodgodpod. We're going to be heading into the Discord now for the Axe of the Blood God post show, where we're going to be talking about plenty of things. And I'm sure, I don't know. I think that we had some Final Fantasy 14 conversation that needed to happen in the post show. I think they had a rebuttal for me.
Yeah,
or
that
two.
Still needs to resolve. That trigger's still out there. Yeah. 14 conversation on the stack.
Patreon.com/bloodgodpod. And of course, you can get access to all of the pantheons that we were referencing when I was talking about my perfect RPG library. So go check that out as well. In the meantime, I've been your host, Kat Bailey. We'll see you again next week. And until then, for Victor, Eric, myself, thanks for listening and happy adventuring.